Ohio. Nigeria, the state in the Western Africa. The area of the territory of Nigeria is 923,768 square km. On this indicator, the country takes the 3rd place in the region, the 14th place in Africa and the 31st in the world. Surpasses all other African countries in population. The population as of 2020 makes 210 million people, being the 7th in the world. The capital, Abuja, also is a part of the country Lagos, the largest city of Africa. I was the capital till December 12, 1991. The state language, English, in total more than 500 languages, a considerable part of the population owns 2 and more. Federal state, presidential republic. Following the results of the regular presidential elections which took place on February 23, 2019, Muhammadu Buhari was re-elected on presidential post. His second presidential term began on May 29, 2019. The vice president's post the forthcoming 4 years again was held by Yemi Osinbajo. It is subdivided into 36 states and 1 federal capital territory, which in turn are divided into 774 territories of local management. It is located in the western part of the African continent. It is washed by waters of the Atlantic Ocean. Borders in the west on Benin, in the north on Niger, in the northeast on Chad, in the east on Cameroon. Differs in considerable ethnocultural diversity. Islam and Christianity are approximately equally widespread. On the number of Muslims wins first place in Africa. Mainly agrarian country with large supplies of oil and other natural resources, the member of OPEC. The DD power of purchasing power for 2019 is $1.169 trillion. 1 place in Africa, the 24th place in the world. Per capita minus $59.67. The 132nd place in the world. Monetary unit, Nigerian Naira. Independence of the country is declared on October 1, 1960. In 1912-1960 I was colony of Great Britain. Earlier it was divided into 2 parts, northern and southern, created on January 1, 1900. The toponym Nigeria is formed from the Gidronym of the same name, the name of Niger River. The toponym Nigeria as an element of political and administrative names. Northern and Southern Nigeria is used since 1900, as the name of the country, the British Nigeria, since 1914. Nigeria is located in the Western Africa on the coast of the Gulf of Guinea and occupies the space of 923,768 km. Being the 32nd country in the world and the 14th in Africa across the territory. Total length of frontier is 47 km. In the west with Benin, 773 km. In the north with Niger, 1497 km. In the northeast with Chad, 87 km. In the east with Cameroon, 1690 km. The line of the coast makes 853 km. The highest point of the country, Mount Chapelvati, 2419 m. is located in the state of Taraba close with Nigerian-Cameroonian border. Niger River and Benue divide the country into two parts. In the southern part the seaside plain is located, and in northern low plateaus prevail. The large territory of the country is occupied by the seaside plain formed by generally river deposits. In the west of the plain along the coast the chain of towns of sand which connect with each other and the Gulf of Guinea is located. To the north of the seaside plain the territory of the country passes into the low plateau, the plateau of Yoruba to the west from Niger River and Plateau to the east. Further the northern plateau which height changes from 400-600 m to more than 1000 m is located. The highest is the central part of the northern plateau, Plateau d'Oise, which highest point, Mount Chair, 1735 m. In the northwest the northern plateau passes into the plain of Sokoto, in the northeast into the plain Born. On October 1, 1960 Nigeria, which was the British colony in the Western Africa before became the independent state. The first government of independent Nigeria was based on the coalition of Chaki and Kayich parties. The representative of Sex Abubakar Tafawa Balewa became the prime minister. After declaration in 1963 of Nigeria as the Republic, I held a post of the president to Nnamdi Azikiwe, the representative of Ensign. The opposition was presented by a group of action led by Obafemi Awolowo. The regional governments were headed. In the north, the leader of Sex Amadou Bello, in the west S. Akintola from Group of Action, and in the east, the representative of Enzniam, Akpera. In 1963 in the territory of east part of the western Nigeria the fourth area, Shrednezapadnea, was formed. On taking place in 1964 elections in this region a victory Ensign won. In January 1966 the group of officers Igbo committed a military coup. The short period of the First Republic ended. Military tried to found a unitary state divided into provinces in Nigeria. North Nigerian Muslims considered a revolution by threat to the interests, and through the whole country interethnic collisions broke up. At the end of July the military units consisting of soldiers of Northerners committed a new military coup. The Lieutenant Colonel, subsequently the General, Yakubu Gowon became the head of state. I governed from 1966 to 1975. In the north prosecutions of Igbo were resumed, thousands of people were killed that led to Massachusetts' flight of Igbo on the east, to their attempts to create the state of Biafra and Civil War 1967-1970. The country was returned to a federal system. Political parties of the country were under a ban in the period of 1966, 1978, 1984, 1989 and 1993-1998. In 1975 Chitsit was overthrown by a group of officers under the leadership of Murtala Muhammad, who was known for the intolerant relation to corruption and indiscipline. It is considered that the program of fight against these phenomena published and begun with it in society could crown worthy results. However, Muhammad was killed in February 1976 at Next, this time unsuccessful. A coup attempt which was organized by Buksuk Dimk's Lieutenant Colonel Olusegun Obasanjo, who replaced him, transferred, as well as the power to the civil government which I headed to Sheikh Shagari, elected to this post under very doubtful circumstances was supposed initially. In 1979 a new constitution which laid the foundation for the Second Republic was adopted. In 1983 Chagori's administration, which wallowed in corruption and despotism, was displaced by a new group of the soldiers directing then the country almost without interruption 1.5 decades. In 1993 elections, however, to Moshad Abio who won at them, ethnic Yoruba were held. Military, generally representatives of northern ethnoses, refused to delegate the power. In 1998, during preparation of promotion of the military dictator of the country Sani Abacha in presidents, Abak died, and Abdusalam Abubakar who replaced him delegated after all the power to civil. Presidential elections were won by the retired general, the representative of the Christian community Olusegun Obasanjo. The interfaith consensus according to which representatives of the Muslim and Christian community have to release each other from a duty of the president was reached. Obasanjo stayed on the post 2 terms, and tried to achieve introduction of amendments to the constitution by various manipulations to stand for the 3rd term, but didn't succeed in it. However, in 2007 his protege, the Muslim Umaru Yar'Adua, was chosen as the new president. In 2003 there was a flash of disorders in the state of the Plateau. In 2006 in Nigeria acts of intercommunal violence between Muslims of a house and Christians took place. For February in skirmishes over 100 people died. In September interreligious collisions took place in the state of Tsigawa. In November 2008 in the city of Duos disorders between Muslims and Christians whose victims were about 300 people flashed again. The victory on local elections of the Muslim party representing the interests of the people of a house became a reason for disorders. On January 13, 2010 the Federal Court of Nigeria delegated to the Vice President of the country Goodluck Jonathan the President's powers as earlier elected President Umaru Yar'Adua took a long course of treatment in Saudi Arabia. On February 9, 2010 the Senate of Nigeria confirmed delegation of power. In March 2010 Jonathan dismissed the cabinet which got to him from the previous president and started appointment of new ministers, then caused discontent among Umaru Yar'Adua's supporters. In March 2010 as a result of bloody collisions between Christians and Muslims in the province of Plateau more than 500 people died. On May 5, 2010 the President Umaru Yar'Adua died at the age of 58 years at himself on a country house in the capital of Nigeria where he returned in February after a course of treatment abroad. On May 6, 2010 Goodluck Jonathan took the oath as the new President of Nigeria. He remained on the post before the expiration of the died predecessor. On April 16, 2011 in Nigeria there took place presidential elections at which victory was won by the current President Jonathan. In March 2015 there took place elections which won Muhammadu Buhari. On May 29, 2015 Muhammadu Buhari took the oath as the new President of Nigeria. From the first half of the order until present in the territory of Nigeria and neighboring countries the terrorist Islamist group, Boko Haram, which supports adoption of Sharia and eradication of attributes of the West. Secular education, elections, etc. Works. Formally Nigeria is the multi-party republic, but there is also an opinion that in fact the People's Democratic Party, People's Democratic Party, PDD, controls almost all levers of the power. According to Economist Intelligence Unit, the country in 2018 was classified under the Index of Democracy as the hybrid mode. The Upper House, the Senate. 109 places. Senators are elected on the majority system of relative majority in the 36th 3 mandatory and 1 single candidate district. The chairman of the Senate is elected by indirect vote from senators. The lower house, the House of Representatives. 360 places. Deputies are elected on the majority system of relative majority. A term of office of all deputies -4 years. 73 seats in the Senate and 213 are in the House of Representatives under control of the pro-presidential People's Democratic Party. PDD. Centrists. At National Party is Conservatives. -28 and 95 places respectively. The President is the head of state and the Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces. It is chosen a universal direct ballot for a period of 4 years, and no more than 2 terms in a row can hold a post. In May 2006, the Senate refused to adopt the constitutional amendment giving the chance to the President to be chosen for the 3rd term. Ground forces -100,000 people. 8 divisions. 2 mechanized, 3 motorized, 2 mixed, 1 tank. And also the Guards crew. Placed in the capital. The Air Force -10,000 people. According to foreign experts, fleet is disabled. The Navy's -8,000 people. 1 frigate, 1 corvette, 2 rocket boats, 3 patrol vessels. On October 7, 1960, Nigeria was accepted in EU and since then is a member of the Economic Commission for Africa and practically all not regional specialized agencies. Is also a DIC of the British Commonwealth of Nations, Group 77, the African Union, World Trade Organization. Since June 1971, Nigeria is a member of OPEC. Nigeria also consists in a number of the regional organizations, Committee on the Basin of Niger and Commission for the Basin of the Lake Chad. The Act enters into the international organization of the countries. The territory of Nigeria is divided into 36 states and 1 federal capital territory. Federal Capital Territory, which in turn are divided into 774 territories of local management. Local Government Area (LGA). After obtaining independence in 1960, Nigeria consisted of 3 areas created by ethno-religiously principle. Northern. The center Kaduna, the main population a house. Western. The center Ibadan, the main population Yoruba. And east. The center Enugu, the main people Igbo it. Bin. And in 1963 the area Srednezapadnaya was formed of 2 provinces of the western area. In 1967 areas were disbanded and replaced with 12 states directly subordinated to the federal government. Only the former area Srednezapadnaya avoided crushing. In 1976 9 more states and also the Federal Capital Territory were formed. Nowadays Abuja. In 1987 2 new states, in 1991 9, in 1996 6 were formed. In Nigeria at least 6 cities have the population more than 1 million people. Lagos, Kano, Ibadan, Kaduna, Port Harcourt and Benin City. More than 10 million people live in Lagos. It is one of the largest cities of Africa and the world. Population of Nigeria, over 210 million people. Assessment for 2020, the 7th place in the world. According to forecasts, by 2050 the population will grow to 392 million people, and the country will become on this indicator a heel. Annual gain -2.53%. Fertility -4.72 births on the woman. Infantile mortality -59.8 for 1,000. The 12th place in the world. Maternal mortality -9.17 for 1,000. The 4th place in the world. Average life expectancy -60.4 years in general. 58.6 years men have 62. 3 years at women. Contamination, a virus of an immunodeficiency. HIV. -1.3%. Assessment 2019, 4th place in the world. Ethnic structure. More than 400 native people and tribes. Nationalities. A House -30%, Yoruba -15.5%, Igbo. Because. And -17%, Yilan -6%, Kana -2.4%, Tiv -2.4%, -1.8%, others -24.8%. For 2018. The literacy of the population is more senior than 15 years -62%. 71.3 at men, 52. 7 at women, assessment 2018. In the country there is a special holiday celebrated on September 8, Day of Literacy. Official language of Nigeria is English. Among the population languages it, Anadavamatu, a Fulfulde, a House, an Idom, a Igbo, Central Kana, Yoruba are also widespread. In total in Nigeria there are 527 languages, from which 512 are live, 2 are the second without native speakers, 11 the dead. Among Nigerian dead languages there is an Aava, Base Barnes, the Hill, an Uyakov, a Gomaninga, a Kapota, a Mav, a Cuban, a Teshanava. Local languages are used generally for communication, and in Massachusetts media, some languages are also taught at schools. The most part of the population of the country owns 2 and more languages. The Pan-Nigerian alphabet on the basis of Latin. In general, Latin is used in the territory of the country since the end of the 19th century. Was developed for various languages of Nigeria in the 1980s years. Believers according to 2018. Muslims -53.6%, Christians -45.9%, other religions and not religious, about 6%. The country wins first place in Africa on the number of Muslims. Islam dominates in the north and the west of the country. Among the people of a House, a Fulbe Kanner is also widespread in her southwest part. Among the people there is Yoruba. There is no religious unity among Muslims. Islam of the Sunni direction, mainly Malikitsky religious and legal school, is most widespread. Since 1999 in 12 states of Nigeria laws of Sharia work. In 9 completely, in the 3rd in places of compact accommodation of Muslims. The Christianity is widespread in the south and the east of the country. It is professed by the people of Yoruba, Igbo, Aben, English, Russian, etc. The largest Christian faiths are Anglicans, 20%, Catholics, 10.6%, and Pentecostals, 15.3%. For 2010, 13 million residents of Nigeria adhered to local traditional religions. Generally it is tribes in the central and southern regions of the country. Their quantity steadily falls. Nowadays, together with other religions, they're less than 5% of the population of the country. Among other religious groups it should be noted Baha'ists, Buddhists and Jews. The atheism and religiousness aren't widespread. In states with Sharia are forbidden completely. In the south of the country aren't welcomed. However, condemnation of clericalism is considered acceptable. Religious collisions happen between representatives of various religious groups, such as Muslims and Christians. The government of Nigeria regularly sends troops and police to stop massacre. Destruction of 16 cities and villages in the north of Nigeria and Borno State at the beginning of January 2015 by fighters of the radical Islamic organization, Boko Haram. Supporting introduction of Sharia in all territory of the country became one of considerable series of massacre on religious grounds. Also, fighters of this organization repeatedly kidnapped people, including minors from schools. Massachusetts stealing in Quebec not less than 276 schoolgirls became the most Massachusetts. The monetary unit, Nigerian naira, was introduced into circulation in the territory of the country since January 1, 1973, having replaced Nigerian pound. Rich with oil, Nigeria long time suffered from political instability, corruption, undeveloped infrastructure and bad management of economy. Former military governors of Nigeria couldn't diversify economy to save the country from her complete dependence from the oil sector, which yielded up to 95% of currency revenues and provided 80% of revenues of the state budget. In this regard, the civil government was forced to take new measures, in particular, privatization of the largest oil processing enterprises of the country, and cancelled regulation by the authorities of the prices of many goods, including oil products, having trusted in a market mechanism of their definition. The government also encourages development of infrastructure in the country with the private sector. Attention is especially paid to agro-industrial sector. For 2019 the dependence decreased a little, but all the same make more than 80% of export revenue. DDD per capita in 2019, $5,967,000. The 144th place in the world. Is the largest economy of Africa by the VVV size. Nevertheless, according to the Book of the Facts of CIA, 70% of the population for 2010 live below the poverty line. The budget at the same time suffers from deficiency of resources. By estimates, in northeast regions of 75% of the population there lives lower than the level of poverty. That approximately twice exceeds an indicator of the southern regions of the country. In agriculture 70% working or engaged in the industry of 10%, in services industry of 20%. At this DDD consists for 56.4% from services, for 22.5% of the industry and only for 21.1% from agriculture. The rate of inflation in 2019 was 11.3%. Cocoa, peanut, corn, rice, sorghum, millet, cassava, tapioca, yam, rubber, peach, nectarine, plum, sweet cherry, cherry, citrus, tomatoes, cucumbers, pepper and other vegetables and fruit are cultivated. Actively there are landings of apple trees and pears. The cattle gets divorced. Sheep, goats, pigs. Fishery is developed. Oil production, gas, coal, tin, columbite. Production of palm oil, cotton, rubber, timber. Processing of skins and skin, production of textiles. Cement and other building materials. Food industry. Production of footwear. Chemical products and fertilizers. Aluminum production. Oil is found in Nigeria in 1901. Industrial development of fields began in 1956. From the 1960th, oil is the basis of the economy of the country. Since 1971, Nigeria is a member of OPEC. In 2007, I took the 8th place on export of oil in the world. In 2015, oil production made 111.3 million tons, 2.322 million barrels a day, stocks 32.1 billion barrels. The quota of Nigeria and OPEC makes 2.224 million barrels a day. Nigeria regularly exceeds this quota and asks to raise her officially. 65% of the extracted oil are easy grades with the low content of sulfur. The main export grades, Bonny Light Oil and Inforcados. Joint ventures of the Nigerian National Oil Company. Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NAP, which since 1979 controls not less than 60% of oil production since then, and transnational shell corporations which regularly gets on penalties because of environmental pollution and causing big harm to national economy are engaged in oil production. In general, the oil sector gives to Nigeria at least 14% of VVV. Since the beginning of the 21st century of activity of the foreign companies, non-governmental paramilitary groups, such as MEND, Guys of Bakassi, the African Guys of Igbasu, the national voluntary groups of the Delta of Niger which are carrying out explosions and takings of foreign workers. Expats and hostages interfere. In 2009, against the background of world recession, it was reported that attacks of Nigerian fighters on oil production facilities had significant effect on the prices of the world oil market. In September 2003, from Plesset's Cosmodrome, Russia, the Nigeria Sat-1 satellite for participation in the International System of Monitoring of Earth Disaster Monitoring Constellation is launched. Nigeria became the third, after the Republic of South Africa and Algeria, the country of the continent having owned spacecraft. In Nigeria, other Africa, the railway and motor transport is developed. Communication violently develops, in the country over 73 million subscribers of mobile communication. Tourism, one of important components of the budget of the country. In the country there are tropical forests, savannas, falls, a set of the objects having cultural and historical value. However, a number of regions of the country suffers from the shortage of the electric power, bad quality of roads and dirty drinking water. Export in 2019 made $53.6 billion, 18% less than in previous. Import minus $47.37 billion, is 10.1% more than in 2018. The main articles of export are oil and oil products. 87%, $46 billion. Vessels, boats and floating designs. 5.93%, $3.18 billion. Agriculture products, including cocoa and tobacco. 1.4% in total, $827 million. The volume of the exported oil strongly exceeds volume imported. Also, Nigeria constantly exceeds the quota in OPEC and regularly asks her to raise. Import consists generally of nuclear reactors and fuel. 18.9%, $8.97 billion. Mineral fuel, including oil. 15.5%, $7.37 billion. Vehicles. 11.8%, $5.62 billion. 7.83%, $3.71 billion. And measuring, ophthalmologic and other precision instruments. 7.08%, $3.35 billion. The main consumers of export are India minus 15.4%, Spain minus 9.91%, the Netherlands minus 9.07%, Ghana minus 7.46%, France minus 6.62%, the Republic of South Africa minus 5.87% and the USA minus 5.26%. The most part of import arrives from China minus 25%. India minus 12%, the USA minus 9.87%, the Netherlands minus 7.37%, Belgium minus 5% and Eswatini minus 3.28%. Reserves of foreign currency and gold in the country minus $38.77 billion for 2017. Nigeria is in the second place in the world by the number of the released feature films. 872 movies in 2006. Conceding only to India. 1091 movies. And bypassing the USA. 485 movies. The Nigerian film industry by analogy with Hollywood is named Nollywood. The average cost of production of the full-length movie in Nigeria is about $15,000. National sport, as well as in many countries, soccer. The national soccer team of Nigeria achieved considerable progress. She participated in 6 World Cups. In 1994, 1998, 2002, 2010, 2014 and 2018. Won the Cup of Africa in 1980, 1994 and 2013 years. In 1996 Nigeria won gold at the Olympic Games, having won against Argentina the final. Besides the youth team of Nigeria, up to 20 years, is a silver prize winner of the World Cup of 1989 and 2005, and the youthful team of Nigeria, up to 17 years, won the World Cups 4 times, 1985, 1993, 2007, 2013, and 3 more times reached the final, 1987, 2001, 2009. Many Nigerian football players play in the European Championships. Since 1952, Nigerian athletes participate in the Olympic Games. By 2012, athletes from Nigeria won 23 medals, from most of which part 13 is won by athletes, including 2 gold. Other medals are won in soccer, boxing, weightlifting and taekwondo. The state TV company NTA, Nigerian Television Authority, Nigerian Television Management, includes the TV channel of the same name, the State Radio Company of France. Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, includes Radio Nigeria radio stations and regional radio stations. Is created in 1978 by merging of NBC. Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, and Benin. Broadcasting Corporation of Northern Nigeria, Broadcasting Corporation of Northern Nigeria. Radio land telecasting is carried out in the DVB-T format. In Nigeria, quite often there are kidnappings of foreign citizens for the purpose of receiving repayment. The phenomenon Nigerians ban Nigerian letters. The scheme of fraud when they establish connection by email is widely known, and about hundreds or thousands of dollars in exchange for expectation by the victim of very large sums entice the sums of money. Though also representatives of other nations are engaged in this type of criminal business, however initially it was widely adopted in Nigeria. Since 2017 there are protests against actions of Division of Police of SARS notorious for the abuses. Corruption. According to Chatham House, from the moment of finding of independence in 1960 from the country, about $582 billion were taken illegally out. The Department of Fight Against the International Corruption of the British Police. International Corruption Unit. From 2006 to 2019 confiscated $117 million the means which are illegally taken out from Nigeria. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.